Hi, welcome to today's healing. I'm Kristen, and if you're joining me today, that means that you are ready to make a change in yourself and the world around you. We're talking about part 11 today of the Power versus Force series by Dr. David Hawkins, and we will be discussing acceptance, which vibrates at a level 350. We are really moving along here. This is so exciting. Okay, major transformation of awareness that we are the creator of experience in our lives. We are able to live more harmonious with the forces of that life. So, this is where balance and proportion and appropriateness come in. And we're seeing just this level of emotional maturity. And before it was immature, even in the past level, there's still a sense of emotional immaturity. And here there is not that sense of diversity. We accept diversity and we are really non-judgmental. This is the level right before love. So we are really opening up to that real love, not just romantic love or love for our children or love for ice cream, right? But this overall universal love that beams from our heart chakra and which connects to the seventh chakra and beyond. And so this is a very exciting time. And below 200 is where we see self-victimhood. Remember that? The energy vampires. And then above 200 is a sense of empowerment. But here is really where we take that power, our self-empowerment, and do something with it. Where before we had short-term goals, remember that? And then we now see long-term goals in our mind's eye, like I did 2 years before I moved cross country. And I saw it in my mind's eye 2 years ahead of time, and I worked toward that goal. And this is what we see now. Long-term goals that we know are attainable. And we do the short-term goals to get to that long-term goal. This is where we are cognitive and aware and assign the power to a more conscious level, that we are powerful and are responsible for our own choices of this empowerment. Before, we would assign blame, right? And say, oh no, that wasn't me. I didn't do that, or that's not my responsibility. Now we are taking responsibility for what life throws at us, and we are able to not do right or wrong, but rather let's resolve this issue. So we're not saying you did this, you take care of that, or you're just now resolving the issue instead of compiling problems. And this is really, like I said before, emotional maturity. If you've hit this level, that sun is shining brightly, so you'd better get your sunglasses. Acceptance must not be confused with passivity. Okay, passivity is connected to the apathy level, and it's not aggressive either. where it's bullying. This is your moment to be assertive, where you're saying, this is what I want. This is what I want to happen. And it's not being passive where you're being walked on like a doormat. And it's not aggressive where you are bullying others for a way to get what you want. This is assertive, and this is self-empowering at a grand level. And this is what we should all strive to be, is assertive. It took me years and years of therapy to not be aggressive, to not be passive, but to learn passivity, openness, less judgmental. Assertive. Did I say passivity? I meant the assertive. I apologize. It gets confusing at times when you're just talking about it here. Okay. Emotional calm and perception happens with acceptance as denial is transcended. And this goes along with blame and this and that. And also, we are no longer gaslighting ourselves and, making up our own narrative as to what is happening. We see the world as a big picture, as the full picture, and we are not making up a narrative to what it is that we want it to be. And we're not gaslighting others. We are seeing it for what it is, and we are dealing with everyday issues or with this happiness that is real, not what we're trying to make it be that is covering other detrimental factors. So we have dug in and we have opened up, and what we see is truth, and what we say is truth, not gaslighting ourselves or others. This is where we engage in life on life's own terms without trying to conform it to an agenda. And this again goes to seeing the world as it is. And we're not trying to put a square peg in a round hole, which is what a lot of the lower levels do. In order to make themselves feel comfortable, and a lot of times, most times, those lower levels are comfortable in chaos. And you've known people, or maybe done it yourself, when things are going smooth sailing, and all of a sudden you've got to shake it up, or somebody is shaking it up because their comfort is in discomfort. Their comfort level is in chaos. And here we have transcended that, where we like it calm and neutral, if you will. We like excitement, sure. But we're no longer in that chaotic level, and we'll find ourselves disengaging from that. I do that. If things are chaotic, I can sense it, see it, and I'm sure that you can too at these little bit of higher levels. And, it's like, I'm backing off from this. I don't need that bullshit. And that's what it is. And you can really sense when people are chaotic and step away from it. Do not engage and get on with that. We see things without distortion or misinterpretation. Okay, and that is where we self-gaslight. And we aren't interpreting the world the way that we want it to be. And this is very important. That's why I'm talking about it again, because you'll find yourself wanting to rest in that because it's easier for you. there's less pain involved. And we have to uncover that pain. And before we dug in, and now we are dealing with that pain, and we're not letting it distort our life or fall back into the lower levels where it makes us more comfortable. And we've got to clean that pain out once and for all. And it's going to take years and years, depending on the level of what you've gone through as a child or as an adult or are going through now. And we're going to find ourselves falling back a little bit, but like some people can have a day or a week where they feel depressed, but that doesn't mean that they're back in apathy. It just means that they're having that kind of day. But with these higher levels, we're able to have a sense of where we can look at it clearly, figure it out, and then move out of it and move forward. In acceptance, we are free of discrimination or intolerance. Acceptance includes rather than rejects. And this is where we see diversity really opening up. And we see the world as unified and one, which is a beautiful concept. And it's just very freeing. And this is the level. Acceptance is the level where we truly step into the freedom, and it's like breathing is easier. Before, we didn't have full lung capacity, and now we've got like 85%, and this it's where we're just breathing easier. And freedom, I'm in acceptance and maybe higher, I'm not sure, but I am in that level of freedom. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes I don't look at someone with what they're saying and go, oh my God, but I'm not fully judging them. I'm opening up to what is going on with them that they're even saying this. And so that's what we find, that we open up and try to resolve the issues. Okay, so, well, that was a long one today, wasn't it? And if you have any questions at all, go ahead and email me at todaysvibrationalhealing, or, leave a message, leave a comment. And if you're enjoying this content, please hit subscribe and that bell so you'll know when I drop a new video. And if you want, leave a comment. I would love to hear what you think, good or bad, good or bad. I am not for everyone, but, like I said, if there's just a few small bits of people out there that enjoy this content and they take it and run with it, that means that we are counterbalancing tens of thousands or, hundreds of thousands, depending on if you're doing this work or not. Okay, so let's see where we are today with our energy. All right. I'm doing the heart and the lower level, like the sacral chakra and the heart, circling around that belly. And so apparently there's some work that needs to be done on that sacral chakra to clean out the past traumas from childhood. Last time we were revving it up. This time we're doing more of a cleaning. We're revving and cleaning at the same time. Lots to do here. All right. Now let's do some in the belly. Our solar plexus. Our heart. Our throat. So that we can say our truths. And be assertive. And just start taking note of when you're being a doormat or a bully. And strive for middle ground. All right, let's go to the back of the third eye, clean that out, give you more overall vision. In the front of the third eye, back of the throat, so you can bring in the soul's voice and open up that third eye so that you can have more of the soul perspective and open more so that you can step into love. All right. Lots to do today. Push that out down the bottom there. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today, and I do look forward to seeing you next time. Okay. And remember, go out and change the world and use your energy. All right. Bye-bye.